Hey everyone, welcome back to another of Vendal's Weekly Arcade Quest Tutorials. Alright, up this week, we have another one of the Vortigern storyline quests. But before we get talking about it and some of the strategies going through it, I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping. Just to let you know, obviously, let's just say it this way, I got this video out late, and I am really sorry about that. I hate getting things out late, but it happened this week because I had a lot of other stuff going on. I've had a couple exams lately, and some new projects and positions at work, and a project that I'm trying to finish up before I finish my time at my current job, because I will be moving on at the end of this semester. Additionally, I have finals coming up, and things have just been getting a little bit too busy lately, and unfortunately I won't always be able to guarantee that I'll have these videos out on Thursday, but I will be doing my best to try regardless. So, with that being said, I appreciate you guys for bearing with me, and again, apologize for this one being late. So let's get into it. This week we have the Black Prior's Supremacy. This particular weekly quest I thought was pretty difficult, but it wasn't like hit your head against the wall difficult like some of the older weekly quests were, or throw your controller at the TV difficult. None of that. But there are a few really annoying mechanics and setups that make this one rather cancerous. So as far as we're talking about character choice in this one, I recommend any character with a decent movement speed. Doesn't need to be in lock movement speed, but out of lock movement speed. The reason for this is you need to be able to get from place to place to navigate a few of the areas and to handle a few things. You'll see what I'm talking about with that more when we get into the specific phases that I'm going to mention in that way later on. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the first phase. The first phase is surprisingly simple, actually. There's not a whole ton to it that make it extremely complex. The buffs are, of course, we get a little bit of damage, and we heal on kill, which is, as you know, one of my favorites if there's minions around, and there are. They have a Nobushi with an uninterruptible, a regular Kensei, and then a Shugoki that does lots of, that knocks you down. The Shugoki here being the biggest scare. Certainly, I actually never died to the Kensei or the Nobushi in all my attempts at this. Anytime that I failed this first run, this first phase, it was because I screwed up against the Shugoki at the end. So the Kensei, the Shugoki, and the Nobushi, well no, the Kensei and the Nobushi for sure are just level 2 bots. The Shugoki, I'm not sure. He doesn't seem to parry much, but you know, even a level 2 Shugoki is pretty intense because he is throwing out the hugs and feigning into them very well, and if you're not well prepared for that, it can be a problem. So if you're having issues with this quest, rather than having to fight your way through the Kensei and the Nobushi every time before you get to the Shugoki, I recommend training in the arena against Shugokis for just a little bit, at least before attempting this. Now, as far as the area that you're in, you've got actually a really big wide area with some tunnels up to the right, a variety of archers around. And there's a lot of things you can do. There's also a ledge to your left that I think I'll walk by a little bit later in this video. But anyways, talking about the Nobushi here, you'll notice, I don't know what it is about AIs, but they're really stupid when they have uninterruptible, because they will try to just trade damage with you the whole time, and that enables you to A, bait and parry their attacks easier than you would other bots, and B, even if you don't bait and parry the attacks and they're trading, you can trade your best blows and you'll come out on top. And with the fact that you have a heal resource at your disposal in this fight, she's really easy to deal with. So there's the ledge that I was talking about, by the way, if you want to utilize it. I recommend staying in this back area for the duration of the quest, letting the Shugoki come to you. If you go to the front area, you're going to have to take out the archers right then. Whereas if you come to this back area while fighting the Shugoki, who is slow, if you get into a little bit of trouble or your health is getting low, you can dodge out, climb up that ladder, and take out those 2 archers we spared from the first zone in this quest. Doing so gives you a little bit of extra survivability, and then because you've got all that room, you can turn around and run to the entire other side of the arena if you needed to kill the 4 archers that are still remaining there to heal. Now, I hate archers, and they're exactly why I said you need a fast character. This phase, fighting the Shugoki, does help with a fast character, but also, discovery, if you get knocked down on a kill, it still counts as a victory, of course. However, if you die in a trade on a kill, as you'll see a little... Actually, I don't think I'm going to show it off, just for the sake of time. But if you die during a trade on a kill, it will count as a defeat. You have to survive. You cannot trade and get a tie in these kind of arcade quests. So with that being said, on to Phase 2. And by the way, Phase 2 sucks. Phase 2 is my least favorite phase of this quest for one reason, and one reason alone. freaking archers. I don't know what it is, but like they can stagger you out of mid combos, they can ruin you when you're actually trying to be defensive, they go through your guard so there's no way to block them even if you know what direction they're coming from, they stagger you when you're in the middle of combos, like literally just like end you in the middle of combos. It's bloody stupid. I hate archers in this game. Given, if an archer shot you, you would probably just die in 1 or 2 arrows rather than survive as long as this guy does. Okay, that's probably not true. But the point being, archery is certainly an effective part of warfare, and to be completely honest, their effect on combat in this game is lesser than it realistically would be. However, what makes this quest entirely awful is literally just the presence of those archers. Now this phase though is really just annoying for that reason. The actual AI aren't terrible to deal with, they're still probably just level 2 orochi, therefore I'm just kind of going to speed my way through it. The big problem is dealing with the archers, and this is why I recommend a fast character. What you just saw me do a little bit ago while I was talking about it was just run past them and get up into this top zone here, taking out the 3 archers in this area. There is one small sweet spot you can stand in the opening area where you fight just one of the 2 orochi, but to be completely honest, that sweet spot is a little small and you're not necessarily going to be able to stick in it, and you will probably still get shot. I found the safest way to actually avoid the archers is just to try to dash through like you saw me do and take out the ones on that upper level. It also gives you that ledge if you want to make use of it because you got too tired of these freaking orochis. Additionally, that quest was also hard. I didn't comment on it at the time, but the orochis had a bonus to their light damage, which for light spam style characters, which is kind of what they do, but actually they're not as bad as it is players, of course, it's really damaging. So you go down a little faster than you'd probably realize, making it the most frustrating phase of the quest. However, it's followed by a very pleasant, just like, trip. For 2 minutes you just have to survive against 3 weaker enemies. I don't know why they do this, why they make the enemies weaker when you don't even have to kill them, because it allows you to just entirely turtle up. I played around the entirety of this quest. This is my first clear of this phase. I was literally just like dinking around. They give you a shield, they give you the ability to heal on kill. I think you do a little bit of extra damage, I don't remember. Doesn't really matter, the point being that they do a little enough damage that you don't even have to worry. You can get revenge and get your shield back, especially if you have Vengeful Barrier. Very, very easily, because they do give you a little bit of a bonus to revenge as well. Like, literally, I was just playing around the entirety of this quest. I was not even trying that hard to block things, I was just kind of letting it happen, and the point being, you barely have to try. As long as you're being a little bit defensive, you're going to make it through this quest, so I'm not going to say too much more on this one. So, with that being said, we'll just go ahead and talk about the final phase and a few issues I have with For Honor's current system, namely locking on. So this next phase relies on you utilizing revenge from the other 2 characters to get back at the one character that's extremely hard to deal with by himself. The way to not do this quest is to approach him head on. Do not try to fight just the main character. Interestingly enough, the warlords will just stand off to the side and let you go at him for an exceedingly long time. But the problem here is, he's really good. It's hard to beat this Kensei with all the buffs that he has. Therefore, you have to come up with a different strategy. You cannot just 1v1 this Kensei or he's going to take you down. So what I recommend doing is just alerting the 2 warlords to get them engaged in your fight, then utilizing them to build up revenge. Now that issue that I was talking about repeatedly during the course of this quest because of how the warlords crash in, I found it extremely frustrating when I would get revenge but could not get my target lock to focus on the Kensei. It would literally just, I'd press the button like 7 times and it would just tab switch between the 2 warlords because of their positioning. And Ubisoft really needs to provide a way for us to slightly control the angle or direction of the choice of character that we want to actually lock onto. It would be very easy and non-disruptive to just do it with the left stick at the time. Which direction you're actively moving determines your lock-on, or actively trying to move in the case of you being currently locked into some animation. I don't know why this hasn't been implemented yet. And it really bothers me because it happens during PvP as well, where you're in a 3v1 or a 4v1, and for some reason you can only actually target 2 of the characters, which makes you more predictable and less able to actually fake your opponents out. But anyways, so the way you handle this quest beyond that is, like I said, just pace yourself. If you can, put yourself in the position where just the 2 warlords are attacking you, because like I said, this is still the standard AI, so only 2 of them will ever try to seriously engage with you at a time, and just utilize your revenge. You also have a shield that regenerates, making it possible for that to help you out as well a little bit. There's not much more to it. If you want to take on the Kensei direct, you can try to do so, but I'm just going to tell you right now that handling that Kensei without the use of revenge feed from the warlords is extremely difficult, and it's not fun. I never managed to pull it off that way, but I'm sure that it can be done for those of you that are determined so to do. So with that being said, I wanted to talk about one final issue that I have with what's been going on with the game. I don't know what it was, but ever since this event and the most recent patch, there's been a whole ton of glitchiness in For Honor. Like serious problems, from being able to clip through things to go straight underground in some areas, to this particular issue that I had happen for the first time. Given it was comical, I cut out the voice chat because I was laughing by myself here with some friends and you couldn't hear the friends, but it looks like the body of my Shugoki, the legs, like fused into his chest. Like if you look at him, there is literally no like flesh within the clothing for his legs. This kind of comical glitching is not what I take an issue with. I actually enjoy it when you randomly see a body ragdoll into the sky. The things I take issue with are not the graphical errors, because the graphical errors are fun, but rather those that actually affect gameplay. And in this particular case, part of why this was happening was some weird glitch that just occurred during the final phase of this fight. I didn't record at the beginning of this, but I am willing to bet we would have won this fight as attackers if it wasn't for this glitch. I mean, this glitch happened when we had 16 lives left, over 9 minutes on the clock. I didn't start recording immediately. It's this you can't revive glitch. Only for the attackers. We literally could not respawn. Would not let us. When we did respawn, it continued to keep us glitched out, and for some reason the enemy was completely able to maneuver fine. Our guards would not work. We could not move, you cannot attack, you literally can't do anything. And you'll see that happening here in a little bit, but it was particularly frustrating. I wish I got it started, but I was actually like legitimately in combat with the leader. For some reason I can't remember the official name, the champion, whatever you want to call him, the king. When the glitch obviously just started happening, and literally the king just started throwing out repeated lights, and even though I had my guard statically there and I wasn't even trying to parry, he literally just like hit me through my guard like 7 times until I was dead. And this was like after I'd been hugging him and like throwing him around, and their whole team was like almost knocked out for a second. Like we were going to clear it, but then this glitch happened. And what results? Literally 7 minutes of us just sitting there bloody waiting, because we have to wait through our entire death animation and the meter to drop to 0 before we can respawn, before it forces us to respawn. It's bloody stupid. Not to mention we lost the match, but I mean, me and my friends, there was a group of 3 of us in that fight together. If any of us quit out, guess what? We would have been hit with that 15-minute penalty. Which, by the way, I personally agree with the 15-minute penalty, because I do not like quitters. But at the same time, what the heck? Like, really, it's just super frustrating when there's a glitch like that, that now you know you're going to lose a match. It didn't affect the enemy team at all, but you're left just sitting here suffering. It just stupid, just absolutely asinine. I don't know how they haven't fixed these kind of things yet. And here's another example that I've obviously been showing off here. You know, straight up can run phase through the ground here, but it still kind of acts like a wall to stop certain attacks, so you get wall bounce when hitting each other. This isn't the only one. As a Shugoki, I phased through the stairs in a new place that I hadn't before in the same samurai castle. In a couple other places, you can go completely outside the zone and just kill yourself anytime you want. There's the old trick of getting behind the forge. There's just a lot that's just been broken lately, and I just don't know why it's been fixed. So I don't necessarily want to leave it on a terrible note, but you know, this is kind of where this one's wrapping up today, I guess. I was extremely frustrated after my experience for the little bit of time I had playing this last week with how glitchy things have been lately. And if any of the Ubisoft people watch this, please start doing better checks of what you're actually releasing to the public before you go live with things, because these issues are real and extremely frustrating. There's no way you guys can't check these things. I love this game, and I love you guys' work, and I love the efforts that go into balancing. I do wish you tweak things a little more frequently, just little lighter tweaks. And I'm still looking forward to all sorts of different buffs for my aramusha, which may not ever come, but also to the other characters. I'm excited for the change to Centurion and stuff, and I'm glad that they're actually still actively working on the game. I love this game and really hope it has a future, but I really think that all of these little glitches really destroy the playing of the game. When you have to sit there and suffer for 8 minutes or anything else like that, it's just not fun. You know, people talk about arcade like it's suffering, but man, I'm never as angry in arcade as I am when I lose a PvP match because of some really stupid glitch. It's irritating because it's something that's entirely out of your control. And this game, the developers need to give us back our control. Arcade mode, it may be difficult, but you are in control. If you're determined, you can make it through it, and I stand by that. For every arcade mode quest, it's always possible to win. They're suffering terribly. I still go back to my very first experience with a random quest. I got to phase 3 against 2 Shaolins, both with unblockables, while like all attacks unblockable and extra health, and I couldn't parry. That was literally the epitome of absolute awfulness. There was nothing I could do except dodge and try to catch them in the middle of their attacks. But I actually made it through that, and it literally took me 2 hours of playing the same phase. I will never do that again. I quit out if I'm stuck on the same phase for a half hour now, but that's just the way it is. Anyways, just remember, with determination you can make it through these quests. This week, the big problem is the archers, but if you play a fast character, you can make it through it. And always remember, modifiers modify your playstyle. And with that being said, good luck out there, fighters, and have a great week. Vendel, out.